Yeah, welcome back to complex analysis module in part 13. In part 12, we have studied what is a singular point and how to classify a singular point. Today, we will see the some problems based on the classification of singular point or singularities. I told you the singular point can be classified in two parts. First part is called isolated singular point and second is called non-isolated singular point. In isolated singular point, we can make three more categories. First category is called removable singular point. Second is called pole, and the third is called essential singular point. So I told you the definition with the help of Lorentz series. If the principal part of the Lorentz series is zero, then singular point becomes removable singular point. If there are finite number of terms in the principal part of the Lorentz series, then the singular point becomes pole. And if the number of terms in the principal part of Lorentz series expansion of fz about any singular point did not is infinitely many, then point becomes essential singular point. So let's see some example based on the theory I have studied in previous lectures. So first, fz equal to e to the power z over z plus sine z at z equal to 0 means here similar point is given to you. If it is not given, you can also find this by putting denominator equal to 0, because the function is not defined where the denominator is 0 and z plus sine z equal to 0, then you can see that there is only one solution, z equal to 0. So z equal to 0 is given as a singular point. Okay. Now, use the expansion for it. E to the power z, you can keep like this till now. Z plus sine z can be written as z minus cube by factorial 3 plus z to the power 5 by factorial 5 and so on. So e to the power z over, I'm telling you the here first part. Second part solution is given here. So first part I'm trying here. So it is 2z minus z cube by factorial 3 plus z to the power 5 by factorial 5 and so on. Okay. Now you can take, it is 1 plus z square by factorial 2 if we expand e to the power z. Okay. And in the denominator, you take 2z outside. So it will become 1 minus z square by factorial 3 into 2 plus z to the power 4 by factorial 5 into 2 and so on. Are you getting my point? If we take 2z outside, okay, no problem. So 1 over 2z, 1 plus z square by factorial 2 plus so on, 1 minus z square by 2 into 3 factorial plus z to the power 4 upon 2 into 5 factorial and so on to the power minus 1. Now, if we expand till one term, this is a different problem. Okay, I have taken here minus sign. Here I am taking plus sign because both the question exist, plus and minus. This solution is provided here, so I am solving first problem for you. So it is good for you. You have both the solutions, and this is very important question actually. Then it is equal to 1 over 2z, 1 plus z square by factorial 2 and so on. I hope you know the expansion of 1 minus x to the power minus 1. I told you 1 plus x square plus x cube plus so on. So it can be written as 1. If you write 1 minus z square by 3 factorial into 12, 2, can you write 12? Okay. Minus, because minus I have taken outside, z to the power 4 by 5 factorial is 120, then into 2, 240 you can write. Okay. So on to the power minus 1. Now it is equal to 1 over 2z, 1 plus z square by factorial 2 and so on. Capital X is like this. So 1 plus x. What is x here? Z square by 12 minus z to the power 4 by 240 I'm neglecting the higher order terms. Okay, plus so on. You are interested actually in the principal part. So principal part where you are getting the negative powers object. Okay, you are getting the negative powers object. So 1 over 2z. If you multiply, you will get 1 plus z square by 12. I am taking up to uh, when you will get negative power, if you have a constant term, because it is a degree 1. So whenever you get more than degree 1 terms in the numerator, your power will become positive. So that is actually analytic part in the Lorentz series. That is meaningless here. We are interested in the negative powers object. It means we are interested in the constant term only. Okay. Okay. So I'm neglecting this term also. Plus now if you multiply z with 1 plus z cube by 12, and I'm neglecting higher order term also. So it can be written as 1 by 2z plus z over 24 plus 1 by 2. Actually, you are getting 1 by 2 also, okay? Plus z square by 24 and so on. So this is a constant term, and here you are getting the positive power in z. So this is your analytic part, AP. But here you are getting negative part, and it can be written as, this is your principal part. Principal part can be written as 1 over 2 z minus 0, because 0 is the singular point, and its degree is 1 only. So how many terms is principal part exists? Yeah, principal part, if you are existing the principal part existing here, it means z equal to 0 cannot be removable singular point, cannot be removable. For removable, principal part should be 0. Now, how many terms in the principal part? There is only one term. One is a finite number. It means essential singular point never exists, because for essential there should be infinitely many terms. Here you have finite terms, so it is a pole. So pole at z equal to 0. Now, what is the pole order? Order of the pole. Its a degree is 1, so it is a first order pole, or you can say simple pole. In the similar, when you take minus sign, you can see there is a pole of order 3. So both are similar problem. Oh, I have solved both. So you can see the solution here in second part also. So z equal to 0 is a simple pole. Now, second example, I am taking example 2. Fz equal to 1 over z square minus 1. So break it in linear factors, it will become z minus 1, z plus 1. Now the best way is break it partial fractions. So you can break the partial fraction 1 over 2 z minus 1 minus 1 over 2 1 over z plus 1. So this is a principal part. This is a principal part. What are the singular points? Can you tell me? Singular point are 1 and minus 1, because at these points only function is not defined. So at z equal to 1, you are getting a term in the principal part, because the degree is negative. Degree is negative, and you are about z equal to 1. About z equal to 1. Some people do 1 minus z to the power minus 1 and say all the powers are positive. Some people may confuse you. They can write like this: 1 minus z to the power minus 1, and they write 1 plus z square and say all the powers are positive. Where is the principal part? But you are taking about z equal to 1. It means z minus 1 factor is necessary. If you are about z equal to minus 1, then z plus 1, z minus minus plus 1 factor is necessary. So you cannot take in the numerator it, because it is about. If it is z minus 1 plus 2, then you can write 1 by 2, 1 plus z minus 1 by 2. I told in the Lorentz series expansion, if you are finding the series about any point, then that factor must be there, must be there. So z equal to 1, simple pole. At z equal to minus 1, again a simple pole, because this is only Lorentz series expansion. Next example. This is a very, very famous problem and most important. So that fz equal to cosec z has simple pole, at z equal to 0. I have two techniques for it. First way is by expansion only. So let's try by expansion. Cosec z can be written as sin z, and at z equal to 0, function is not defined. Therefore, it is singular. Z equal to 0 is a singular point because at this point function is not defined. Now, if you write like this, 1 over z minus z cube by factorial 3 plus z to the power 5 by factorial 5 and so on. Okay, 1 upon z you can take outside, then 1 minus z square by factorial 3 plus z to the power 4 by factorial 5. Here you can make factor of z because z equal to 0. About z equal to 0 means you want a z factor. So there is a no problem. It is equal to 1 over z, 1 minus z square by factorial 3 minus z to the power 4 by factorial 5 and so on to the power minus 1. It can be written as 1 plus f1 minus capital X, suppose this, then 1 minus z square by factorial 3 minus z to the power 4 by factorial 5. To multiply 1 by z inside, it is z square z by factorial 3 minus z cube by factorial 5. So all the powers are positive except this term, and so z equal to 0 is a simple pole because degree is 1, a simple pole. Simple pole. Simple pole. Now, second way. Second way is quite useful and easy also. Suppose you have a fz equal to cosec z, then it can be written as 1 over sin z. And I told you, if you assume this is equal to 1 over gz, if you assume this is 1 over gz, then your gz equal to sin z, gz equal to sin z. And I told you one remark in the zeros, if gz has zeros at z equal to z naught, then its reciprocal fz has pole at z has a pole at z equal to 0. If it has simple 0, then if it has simple pole. So check for zeros here. So where gz you are checking at z equal to 0, so g0 equal to sin 0 equal to 0. But what about its a derivative? I told you zeros test. You can see part 11. So it's a cos z. And what about g dash 0? It is 1 not equal to 0. If first derivative is not equal to 0, but the function is 0 and function is analytic at z equal to 0, sin z is analytic. So gz has simple 0 at z equal to 0. Therefore, it's a reciprocal fz equal to 1 upon gz has simple pole at z equal to 0. So this is the second way to tackle this problem. Now I told you the last part in the lecture 12 how to find the residue at z equal to infinity. So I'm going to solve one problem here. So that z to the power 4 plus 2z plus 1 upon z square plus 5z plus 2 has a pole of order 2 at z equal to infinity. Whenever question is asked for z equal to infinity, then only you try, otherwise no need to find the residue at z equal to infinity. Now, I told you the way, just replace z equal to 1 by w. So f z equal to f of 1 by w. So z equal to 1 by w to the power 4 plus 2 1 by w plus 1 1 by w square plus 5 by w plus 2. Equated, this is a function 1 plus 2 w cube plus w to the power 4 upon 1 plus 5 w square plus 2 w 1 upon w square. Call it as a new function gw. And now our aim to check the singularity at w equal to 0. At singularity at w equal to 0. Now, so GW equal to 1 upon W square some HW. If you see, this is a HW function. I'm taking 1 by W square outside. Interesting part is HW is non-zero at W equal to 0. Because HW is 1 plus 2W cube plus W power 4, 1 plus 5W plus 2W square, and H0 is equal to 1. Because we do not have, interestingly, H0 is not equal to 0. Therefore, this term is not any creating problem. Only this is the principal part is creating problem. So GW has a pole of order 2 at W equal to 0. Therefore, it's reciprocal Fz, or it's Fz when you replace z equal to 1 by w, has a simple pole of order 2 at z equal to infinity. So pole of order 2, not simple. Simple when degree is 1 only. Okay. Now I'm going to study one most important topic of this complex analysis module, that is called residue. Most important. You will get many questions based on this in GATE exam, ES exam, and your BTech exam. What is residue? Let W equal to, let Z equal to Z naught is a isolated singular point. Means it can be removable singular point, it can be pole, and it can be essential singular point. So there can be any possibility here. Then Laurent series expansion of fz about z equal to z naught can be given as I told you, sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z naught to the power n plus sigma n equal to 1 to infinity b n upon z minus z naught to the power n, where a n and b n can be given and this form. And I told you where b n is, this is called analytic part and this is called principal part, where b n is given as 1 upon 2 pi I close integration z minus z naught to the power n minus 1 fz dz n equal to 1 to 3. I told you this in the Laurent series expansion. Now put n equal to 1 both sides. So b1 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi. This will become 1 fz dz. So take 2 pi I in the left hand side. So close integration fz dz equal to 2 pi I b1. So this line integration can be found with the help of b1 also. This b1 is actually called a residue of any function fz. So in the expansion of this Laurent series, it's a b1 is very important. It's a b1 is very important here. What is b1 here? b1 is your Laurent series expansion. Then b1 is very important in the Laurent series expansion. So if we get the coefficient of b1, it will the coefficient of b1 is actually the coefficient of if you expand fz and take this term only, b1 upon z minus z naught plus b2 upon z minus z naught whole square plus so on, plus sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z naught to the power n. So the b1 is nothing else. b1 is called residue of fz, shortcut is res of fz at z equal to z naught. It is nothing else. It is the coefficient of 1 over z minus z naught in Laurent series expansion of fz about z equal to z naught. So about z equal to z naught. So if you expand any function, just collect the coefficient of 1 upon z minus z naught. That will give you the b1. Now I'm going to discuss how to find the b1, how to find the residue b1. To find b1, so for all the three categories I'm going to discuss at singular point z equal to z naught. Singular point is the point where fz is not defined. In the case of removable singular point, if z equal to z naught is a removable singular point, then b1 equal to 0. Why b1 equal to 0? Because in the removable singular point, principal part of expansion is 0 in the Laurent series. Therefore b1 equal to 0. So in this case, this integration fz dz that is equal to 2 pi I b1 is 0 because b1 is 0. Okay. Now essential singular point, second case. In the case of essential singular point, I told you when z equal to z naught is an essential singular point, we need to expand fz in Laurent series about the singular point z equal to z naught and obtain the residue coefficient of z minus z naught to the power minus 1 directly. So in this case, this is the only way to find the residue at z equal to z naught. Okay, for example, find the residue of fz at of z cos 1 by z. Z is equal to 0 is a singular point because at z equal to 0 function is not defined. So we will expand it and we will try to see that. Cos 1 by z. Can you tell me the expansion of cos x? Cos x is nothing else 1 minus x square by factorial 2 plus x to the power 4 by factorial 4 and so on. So it will become z 1 minus 1 by factorial 2 1 by z square plus 1 by factorial 4 1 upon z to the power 4 and so on. If you multiply z inside, this is 1 by factorial 2 1 upon z plus 1 upon factorial 4 1 upon z cube and so on. So there are infinitely many terms which power is negative. Which power is negative? It means z equal to 0 is essential singular point because you have infinitely many terms in the expansion. Now what is b1? b1 is coefficient of 1 upon z minus z naught. Here z naught is 0. So coefficient of 1 upon z, that is actually 1 upon z. What is this? This is b1 equal to minus 1 by 2. So here the residue is b1 that is equal to minus 1 by 2. Now, similarly, if someone asks you any question like this type of integration, z cos 1 by z, I told you dz and c equal to mod z equal to 1, and I told you z equal to 0 is a singular point which lies inside this circle only. Z equal to 0 is lying inside this circle only. So I told you f z equal to z cos 1 by z if we assume, and this integral is nothing else is equal to 2 pi I b1, and I told you b1 in this case was minus 1 by 2. So if you substitute here, the integration is quite easy. It is minus pi I. So one way is Cauchy integral theorem or Cauchy integral formula to solve it. But Cauchy integral formula is not always work, but the residue always work. So this is more general and more good formula in comparison to Cauchy integral formula. So this problem can be solved with the help of Cauchy, but not exactly, because for a Cauchy you need this type of integration, f z over z minus z naught. Then only this is equal to 2 pi I f z naught. If you remember this type of integration I told you. So you always need a factor of z minus z naught, but here no need to keep a factor of z minus z naught. It means this is more useful in comparison to Cauchy integral formula. Next is to find the residue for poles, that I will see in the next lecture. Okay, thank you. So you can finish it till now, and in the next lecture we will see how to find the residue for poles, and we will see some example based on it also.